Well, I'd like to welcome y'all to our meeting again tonight. Seems like we're getting pretty good at this meeting. We're having one or two or three a week, so we ought to get it down pat for long. Let's have the pledge of allegiance then. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Oh Lord, we thank you for this another day of life, and we thank you for the many blessings that you give us without even having to think about it. Our Father, let us be reminded here of what our responsibilities are, and let us step up to do what we need to do. Forgive us when we fall short, and help us in every way that we go about. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Miss Jennifer, are you in Randy's place again tonight?
I am.
Okay.
Denzel Potter.
Here.
John Brown.
Here.
Stanley Rigsby.
Here.
Brandon Evans.
Here.
Anthony Larkin.
Here.
Stanley Franklin.
Here. Well, sound like we might have enough for a quorum. Do we get any more votes if we're 100%?
I don't know.
All right, do I hear a motion that we accept this occupational tax?
In order for it to do the emergency occupational tax, the fiscal court has to declare an emergency, so there has to be a vote, and then a majority of that. If it passes, then we would be an emergency under those provisions. Once we do that, you can enact that emergency ordinance.
Okay. All right, do I hear a motion that we're in an emergency situation? And so we
This is
can
not a state of an emergency or anything like that. I mean, it's just a county.
No, it's just
There's a difference.
it's a designation. Basically, usually when you do ordinances, you have to have not just a quorum. You got to have a majority of the people present. With budgets, there's a whole lot more steps than that. You have to run it through. The reason. The way that we're getting it done so quickly, okay, is that you're all basically saying that there is a financial emergency and that we need to amend the earlier ordinance, okay? Otherwise, if it's not an emergency situation, then, it has to be published, we have to wait weeks and weeks, maybe even months to pass certain stuff. So, there first has to be a designation by the fiscal court that it's an emergency, financial emergency. You have to declare which type of emergency it is. But no, that's just as a mechanism, a way to pass the ordinance itself. To be on time for that November 1st date.
Can I ask a question, please? How long will this tax be on?
don't know yet. Know what's going to generate. If we get on our feet, and which right now don't look like we're going to be able to do it, so we could back some of it off. The city, I understand they're backing off some of their tax right now. You hardly ever hear of it backing off. It's usually going the other way.
But you can rest assured that you all pass the tax that they will too.
Well,
I'm betting on this, it doesn't sound like a whole lot. But if you make $200 a week, at 2.5%, that's $5 a week. You're talking about $260 a year out of each person, and there's not many years that makes $200 a week. People that are working minimum wage, you've got families, and the taxes that they're having to pay. I just don't see how people can afford to pay any more tax. I know it don't sound like a whole lot, and for people that make big money, it's not a whole lot. They don't need the money, it don't matter. Got $1 here and $3 there. You might take a gallon of milk from the kids, and I think there should be a time limit put on it, and then re-voted on it if it needs to be.
Well, I think first of all, we need to see what's going to generate. I mean, it may not even generate enough money to get us out of the hole, but we hope that it will. The projections that we looked at, we hope that it's going to cure what ails us, but I don't know that it will. And I won't sit here and tell you that it will, and me not knowing that.
Another thing I want to ask you their checks are from out of the county.
Well, I don't know, I'm assuming, John, you may know something.
If you work out of a county, which Morgan County don't get anything, whatever county, even though you live in Morgan County, whatever county you're working in, they're holding their tax out on you.
So there are people in here right now doing construction work, which we
Yeah,
will
I
take
do.
tax
I mean,
from
if I'm
them.
in
Yeah.
Bourbon County or if I'm in Perry County, wherever,
Bourbon County,
on my
wherever.
checks, it's got a list about that long of all the different counties I'm in where they hold out their tax. Which it depends on what county the job is performed in. It don't matter where the office of the company is or anything like that, it's just what county the work is performed in.
And just like if people lives outside of Morgan County and comes to Morgan County to work, like at the prison, then they'll pay the tax to
To
Morgan
Morgan
County.
County.
Right.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we declare that the fiscal court's in a state of emergency, financial emergency, and that we make an attempt to pass this tax to try to help ourselves?
I'll make that motion.
Brandon's made it, do I hear a second?
Second.
John second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed likewise. Okay, now, we established that fact. Then, Mr. County Attorney, we're ready to enact the ordinance on tax, is that correct?
Yeah, this is basically the same ordinance that we had wrote earlier in the spring. The only thing is, it's emergency on it, and we've done KRS 67078, which is declare the emergency, but everything else is the same. It basically changes the occupational tax from 0.5% to 1.5%, and it will be in effect on November 1st.
Does anybody want to entertain a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Stanley's made it, do I hear a second?
Second.
Brandon second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed like sign. Okay, when does this need to be done?
On November 1, Connie will have to get on that immediately, informing the employers of the change and get a letter out to them.
And by it being that percentage, it's still below anybody else around us. Even Menifee County's got more than that. Okay. Discussion about the employees.
Well, Judge, I feel like that we need to bring them back to work. I feel like that we need to I talked to DLG, as I told you Friday, I talked to Robert Brown, finance officer, and he said that if for some unforeseen reason that we couldn't pay back what we borrowed from the road fund or what we borrowed on a short-term loan from the bank or whatever, that we could go through KCO and put it on a long-term loan. We can't borrow money to operate on, but through KCO, we can put it on a long-term loan. So that guarantees us at the end of the fiscal year, if we don't, for some reason, be able to pay all of it back, that we can borrow the money through KCO and put it on next year. If we just got the tax increase on the last 2 quarters, it'll raise about an extra $190,000 a quarter, which will be $380,000 for the last 2 quarters. Next year, it will be $760,000 for all 4 quarters. So I don't see any reason that we can't go ahead tomorrow and transfer the money from the road fund and pay the bills we owe and put these people back to work.
Still, we can't pay what we've got out, already borrowed from the road fund the way it is. I mean, you know what, and I'm all for putting them back to work too. I'm all for putting them back to work.
What I'm saying, Judge, is, you know, the last 2 quarters of the year, which if it goes in effect November 1st, we're gonna get, what, 2 months?
We'll miss 1 month.
We'll get 2 months on the next quarter. So, you know, that's gonna be whatever extra that is. But I mean, you know, it's a...
When we got the money in the bank to pay them, I'm all for putting them back to work then.
Well, but now, Judge, the thing of it, and don't get me wrong, I respect you as a businessman, I mean, I've known you all my life, and I don't think that you could find a better businessman, but county government is about more than just business. I mean, we're talking about people's livelihoods here.
You said that right, it's
And I
more than
mean-
just business.
I mean, we have got the means.
I don't
feel
see where we've got it, Stanley, and I don't mean to disagree with you, but we don't have it yet.
Well, I
If
know
we've got it by, say, the end of November, or we got it by the end of December, we'll put them right back to work.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, we've got a way that if for some reason we don't have it, we can borrow it and put it on next year.
I don't think we've got any way of borrowing it, Stanley.
I've
You
done
check it out and see.
I
We don't
already have.
have any, we don't have it.
When I talked to you Friday, I told you to call for yourself, not to take my word for it. But I talked to KCO and they said they stood ready to help us any way they could. And I talked to Robert Brown and he said that we could. Jody had told me that we couldn't borrow it for operating money and Robert said she was right.
We can't cover that.
But he said that you could go through KCO and go around that and put it on a long-term loan. So it don't have to be.
We don't have anything left to borrow with, Stanley.
Well-
You know, when we was up here, when we had this meeting back in the spring,
Yep.
they said we might have as much as the $1 million that we could borrow.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
So we don't have anything to put up for collateral.
Well, but this increase in this revenue is gonna raise our borrowing capacity
It will.
as well as our bonding capacity.
Once it's in effect and starts
Well,
taking effect,
It'll be in effect
Well-
November 1st.
it's like,
Well, I
till we
mean,
get the money in hand,
Well, I mean, that's his prerogative not to spend road
I
fund
don't
money,
think we
isn't
need,
that right, Miles?
to begin with, we don't need to be spending road fund
Restricted
money
I mean,
Yeah, I
for
mean,
anything else other than roads.
it's all,
And I wish we could build up a little bit of cushion and get that road fund money built back up.
and the general fund
And,
cushion.
Every time we borrow out of it, then we've got, it cuts down something else to pay it back.
I think we can, but you've
No,
got,
I don't
you've got
agree with you.
people laid off that their livelihood's at stake, you know,
Yeah.
and I feel like that it's pretty sad situation that we're gonna get at least $380,000 more revenue the last 2 quarters and $760,000 more revenue next year. It's pretty sad that we can't put these people back to work and, I mean,
We
we've
will
got,
put them back to work
we've
now.
got
We can
winter
put them back
coming
right
on
now.
and everything else. I mean, people's gotta buy heat. Christmas is coming up. I mean, you couldn't pick a worse time to lay people off. So, I mean, with
I
that,
agree with you, but until we've got the money there to pay them with, proof of it, I'm not gonna be for it.
So you're not gonna
We
get a
have
KCO
DP.
loan?
No, I don't think that's necessary.
Well,
we
we have to look at it, Stanley, because I don't know what you're talking about, so we'll
have
ask,
give you a way
ask
to
KCO.
put them back to work.
I'm gonna make a motion to put it back to work tomorrow.
Well, I've got, how much will this raise our, unemployment insurance, the longer we leave them laid off, that, you know what I'm saying, that'll affect us for the next 2 to 3 years?
We'll look into that for
It's
you.
gonna cost.
Because it's going, I mean, like,
When you
say
look-
you got 5% insurance, unemployment insurance, you lay a bunch off like that, that'll affect you, jump you up to 2% like the next 2 or 3 years. You'll pay for it in the long run.
Right.
I can.
I understand that, but we don't have the money to pay our employees right now.
Well, what I'm saying is,
Well,
all we
Stanley's
gotta
already
do,
said that he won't use the road fund money, so
all we gotta do is transfer the money from the road fund.
you can transfer it, but he don't have to sign a check using it.
Well, I understand that.
I mean, he's not going to, so there's really nothing else to
Well,
discuss on that
then,
matter.
if this body makes a motion that we go to the bank or we go through KCO and borrow the money, I don't see no reason that we can't put these people back to work. I
Well,
mean, you
when the
got
money's
people
here and
who-
we can actually borrow it, we'll talk
Well, I
about
mean, if
it.
you wait till the money here, these people's livelihoods is gonna dump in the dump.
Well, it would have been
I
here
mean,
if we'd have set the occupational tax at
Well,
the rate
we
that
have
we
set
need.
the occupational tax, so let's look forward and not look behind.
We are
and
looking
let's
forward,
put
we're
these people back
projecting.
That's what I'm telling you, we'll wait till we get the money in the bank, then we'll
I
pay these
don't
fellas.
agree with that, Judge.
Okay.
Well, we know, I mean, we
I know
don't
you don't agree
agree.
with it.
Then, if in your motion, let's direct the treasurer to transfer the money tomorrow into the general fund, that we can pay the bills that we owe, and that we can put these people back to work.
Are you gonna sign a check with the road fund money to pay bills?
Wouldn't matter if I did sign it.
I know,
It was
but are you
just laying
going
there in
to?
the file cabinet.
I know, but are you
And
going
that-
to?
And that, no, I ain't signing that.
Okay.
If we go through KCO to get that money, then we might as well go through KCO and get enough money to open up the animal shelter.
two ladies back here are getting very tired of working there with no employees around. And that's something that's in the budget we should address.
Well, we'll look at Keiko and talk to him and see. I've never heard of anything where you can borrow money for operating costs.
Well, I mean, and the thing of it,
You're saying it's not a
They-
operating cost, it's just a
Well, how is
long-term
it
loan?
not?
right, they put it on a long-term loan. And the thing of it, there's no sense in spending all of that extra money to get a loan when we can transfer the money out of the road fund. I mean, that's just shooting ourselves in the foot.
What about when we
Because
have
we're
to pay
gonna be paying
Lundgren?
interest.
What about
And-
when we have to pay Lundgren and we don't have any borrowing capacity? What are we gonna do?
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Well, see, but crossing the bridges when
Well,
we get there is why we're here
If
now.
we can't pay Lundgren out of $760,000 extra revenue next year, and at least $380,000 this year,
We can't because we needed that to budget this year. We needed that revenue to budget this year. We can barely,
not the $760,000 for next year.
yeah.
That don't have
No, we
nothing to do with
needed
this
it,
year.
no, I mean, we needed the 1.5 for this fiscal year.
Well, I understand that, Jody.
So
but
that, and it was just barely gonna balance at that point. So, I mean,
Well,
we disagree on the financial, I know we do, that's
sure
fine. That's fine.
We disagree bad.
But
And
I
I think it's very sad that we can't put these people back to work.
mean, I do too. I do
I
too.
sure do. And I mean, you know,
It's very sad.
I'm gonna make the motion that we transfer the money out of the road fund into the general fund. We direct the treasurer to do that.
She
We
will, I'm
direct
sure.
We direct the judge to sign the check.
You can direct him to do something that's
We
illegal.
also put the people back to work in the morning and pay the bills.
Miles, they can direct him to do that, but you cannot expect him to do something that is illegal.
It's not illegal if he's got a way to pay it back. is it?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different questions here. I mean, the fiscal court can, transfer the road money.
Yes, for
They
sure.
can seek out loans. The fiscal court is the deciding body on most of these questions. The one question where Judge Franklin, he does have discretion is the signing of checks. That would have to be litigated to try to make him sign checks. Not that it hasn't been done before, but I couldn't give the answer to that question. As far as transferring, seeking out the loans and stuff like that, yeah, the magistrates by vote determine what happens there. There's a little bit of discretion on both sides. That's kind of it's a complex question.
Well, I make the motion that we direct Tammy to see how much we need to pay the bills we owe and to transfer enough for payroll, whatever it takes for payroll, to put these people back to work and to pay the bills we owe.
Second.
And to do it tomorrow.
And if we can't transfer, look for a loan through Keiko.
We can transfer.
Yeah, but I mean,
Or just counting your chicks, you counting your eggs before you even get them. That's what you're doing now.
Maybe.
I don't,
You don't have to sign the check, so they'll have to force you through the litigation and sign the check.
yeah, I won't sign a check till we get the money in the bank. I definitely won't do that, and
The
you
money
all won't
will be
do that either.
The money will be in the bank if it's transferred out
It's
of the
not
road
there
fund.
yet though, Stan.
Not the
We've got,
road
it's got,
What
we got.
we're making the motion to do tonight, and it'll be
It-
transferred
it's not
tomorrow.
being-
And the money
It's
will
not
be in
there
the
now,
account.
and I don't intend to sign a check until the money's
The money will
there.
be transferred out of the road fund into the general fund, and there'll be money in the general fund to cover the check that you sign.
He won't use
So
the
there'll be no
road fund.
reason for you not to sign the check and put these people back to work
I
and
tell you,
pay,
cause we can't pay it back.
and pay the bills we owe.
And so they can
So if
come
we
back,
can't
but
pay
they
it
won't
back
get
with
checked
this
Friday.
increase in this revenue, we just will go to hell, looks to me like. But I make the motion.
I seconded it a long time ago. Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm not in favor.
I also made the motion to put these workers back to work tomorrow.
You go back with the
Second.
understanding that you might not get paid for a while, if at all.
I mean, he's told you, you won't sign a check, so that's up to the employees whether to decide what they want to do.
So
there was a motion made, or,
Motion was
okay.
Motion made to direct the treasurer to transfer the money from the road fund to the
I got
general
that.
fund.
And a motion made to the work.
Motion made to.
Okay, so everybody's in favor?
Second. Motion.
Stanley.
I didn't vote for it.
Okay.
We never voted on, we put the workers back to work too.
Yeah, Stanley made that in his motion.
Oh, did, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
I thought that was two separate.
I thought it was two separate.
yeah, it was
Okay,
two
maybe then-
separate.
Okay, we'll make it to the, I'll make the motion, we transfer the money tomorrow.
Denzel made the motion,
Put the
I'll
work
second.
back to work tomorrow.
And I vote against both of them.
Okay, I got it.
All right. Anything else somebody wants to talk about?
I've got one other thing I want to
Okay.
bring up. I understand that all the county employees, that the county pays all of their medical insurance. How many thousands of dollars does that generate out of the fund per month, just paying the insurance, instead of them paying part of it? I know some of you are not gonna like what I'm saying, but
We can tell you, Lane, I don't know exactly what it is, but we can
I
tell
asked
you.
to see it tonight.
Oh, I think it's around $350,000 a year.
A year.
annually.
Yeah.
But, you know, $350,000 a year is a whole lot of money.
Yes, it is.
If they could pay half or whatever like other employees, for instance. But, I don't know how many is even employed with the county, I have no idea, but I know everybody else has to pay a portion of their medical insurance.
And that is one of our biggest costs, and we have asked our health insurance provider to come in and let us know if we can look at some less expensive plans.
Well, and another thing I heard today on helicopter insurance for the employees. Why? Everybody else has to pay their own. Why would the county pay a portion of that?
Because that's what this fiscal court decided to do.
And then we'll worry about money.
Right. So we do need to cut costs too. That's another way that we could help this budget problem, is we could cut costs.
And another thing I heard, since we've been
Okay.
doing legal, all legal, I heard that there's nobody supposed to be at that table except Stanley and the magistrates and the treasurer and the secretary.
Not that I know of.
Oh, and Miles.
And the clerk.
Sorry, Miles.
That's all right.
On the kids.
Miles would have to address that, not that I know of.
Let's do it all.
Administrative.
Miles, I can't answer.
I'm sorry, what,
I don't know about that.
the question?
The question she just had.
She won't let
Oh.
me sit at the table.
I don't think it's in the administrative code, I don't think that's, it is. I'd have to look at it, it's not something I've researched. But yeah, I can take a look at it, whatever.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yes. So to pass the taxes, don't you feel like there'll be enough revenue to come in to take care of any road funds that we transferred and give these employees?
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Have you all calculated the projection?
Yes. We calculated.
Well, here's the thing, if we take the road fund money, we have $807,000 worth of FEMA projects for roads and for shelters that Irene addressed, I think, last week. And that will delay any of those projects if you deplete the road fund. The road fund already has a lot that we have to do with the money that's sitting there.
We have to pay up front, then they'll reimburse us.
Yeah,
They're supposed
so
to.
all those projects we have to pay, and it may take months to get it back. So if we deplete that by moving that money over now, then those road projects aren't going to get done. So if you had some road projects in your area that needed to get completed, we may not have the money to do that. So,
And isn't there a time frame, Irene?
what?
Isn't there a time frame that they have to have it done?
Then we have a certain amount of time we have to have it done,
Yeah,
and we lose
there's a
that.
time frame.
We lose that money. What was it, Irene?
2017 on the bill, 2000, some of the road projects are 2016.
June 30, 16, or October 16? Okay, so within the next year, we have to do all that, or we lose that money if those projects aren't completed. So if we deplete our money by using it to fund the general fund or the jail fund, then we wouldn't be able to complete those projects.
Okay.
When I talk to Fiscal, if we see that we're gonna need the money before we're able to pay it back, they just talk like there'd be any problem at all, we went ahead and borrowed it whatever time that we needed it. If we needed to put back in the road fund to do these projects.
Well, we'll talk to him first thing in the morning. We'll give him a call. But I mean, I just don't think it's a good financial decision to borrow more money when we only have $1 million limit left and we still owe so many things.
But the $1 million limit is gonna come way up after we increase these taxes.
I don't know if it'll come way up, but we'll look at it.
It'd have to help quite a bit.
Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah,
I mean, let's not say it until we know. I mean, let's make sure we know what we're talking about before we.
I mean, you know, I don't, and I mean, the thing of it, to me, the most urgent thing that we've got right now is these people's livelihoods. I mean, because, I mean, the hole in the road, you can go around the hole in the road, but you're in danger of losing your house or your kids ain't gonna have Christmas. I mean, they ain't too much way of getting around that.
Both things are
So
horrible.
I feel like the most urgent thing we've got right now is getting the bills that we owe paid and getting these people back to work. And then we can work around the rest of it, however we have to juggle it or whatever.
Well, it's not like we haven't made provision for it, Stanley. They all can draw unemployment. I mean, it won't be like what they're working for, no.
Right.
But they'll have some income still coming in.
Right, but they're
It's not
gonna
like it's not any income at all.
Right, I
We could pay their
understand.
And get this thing generate some money.
But they're gonna lose their income.
Towards
They're laid off and not, their job's not permanent.
Well, we can't afford it.
I don't know. I mean, if you start giving people's benefits and they're collecting unemployment insurance, it might, or collecting unemployment, it might have something to do with that, you know. And as far as, if people going back to work and saying, I'll take the money later, that might affect them getting their unemployment, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's saying later, he's just saying you may not get a check. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because that would keep them from getting another unemployment.
Yeah. Anything else, Mr. Spring, before the court this time?
I think Raymond Binkley wants to say something, don't you, Raymond? You want to say something?
Yeah, but I need another quarter vehicle. When I'm in Frankfurt or Louisville, we don't have a quarter vehicle. And if somebody's dead on the highway or dead at home or up a holler somewhere, I think we need because we got the 2 cots now. We're not hurting ours. But we need another quarter vehicle. I'm not saying a new one now, because they asked me 3 years ago if I wanted a new quarter vehicle, somebody did. And I told Joe, I said, I gotta go, I don't need a new one, I gotta go. But what we need another quarter vehicle like the sheriff, like the jailer. And it's needful for me, because he catches me as the quarter of Morgan County in a bad predicament. When I'm in Louisville, Frankfurt, and there's another call up here. Like we got 2 calls at the same time the other night. Well, when you do like that, we have to use our own vehicles. One went this way, one went that way. But we need another quarter vehicle. And I'd like for you to kind of think about that a little. And it takes the burden off of me and the burden off of the county that's dependent on me to be there, to have somebody there, somebody passed away.
I'm sure you have a need, or you wouldn't be here. I'm sure you do.
Could Kelly think about that a little bit and see if you can work around work. I'm not saying for a new one now, I'm talking about a different vehicle and see if you can come around and get me one. I need one.
I'm sure the sheriff and the jailer both need vehicles too, Mr. Corner. Well, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Michelle, you want to?
Same old. I just thought that if the taxes were passed, that we would then be able to get to open for applications, get an employee in there.
Well, I think we can, but let's see what we're going to be generating from this
Right.
tax.
Okay.
And have to go into effect and see what it's going to make.
We don't get our first influx until January.
So we won't have one until January.
If we can't pay the ones we have, I don't know how we hire one, Michelle. I want to help you, because I know you're doing an excellent job over there. You and Miss Sexton as well, Kathy. Both are very good to help us. So
And
of
we
course-
appreciate what you do over there, girl.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Your food right now is in pretty good shape?
Excellent shape.
Good.
Very good. We've had a huge outpouring.
Good.
That's great.
All right. Did I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Motion made by Stanley, is that a second? Anthony second, all in favor? Thank you for coming, come back anytime.
See you talking about this.